Hey everybody, I'm Lex.
I'm Jordan with PDQ.com.
New year?
New users.
New users.
Yeah. So, I mean, people think that we just walk around being this well put together and professional.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it
yeah,
turns out we had things to learn that really helped us get to this point.
What? Really? We learned them?
There's improvement is the goal.
Absolutely. And the great thing is we're going to share with you guys some of the things that I wish I would have known when I started building packages and deploying inventory.
Yep. Our product is awesome out of the box, but that doesn't mean there aren't things you can do as a new user to make it just that much better for you.
Absolutely. Should we jump in?
Let's do it.
So first thing out the gate, obviously the first thing I did was build a package. And
Yep.
I built a horrible package, and it worked actually. I just wish I would have known a few more things about that. So when you build a package, a couple things, obviously, you got your silent parameters, that kind of thing. But the thing I wish I would have known, two things. One, Taskkill. Let's build a 7-zip or something like that. We'll take a 7-zip and we'll just kind of break this down for you.
Convert it.
Should we convert it?
Yep.
So here's the thing. When I was doing my first installs, I would just, run the install, send it out, and some of the times it would fail due to the fact that there was someone already running a version of that. So once I found out Taskkill, I incorporated that in all of my
Now, what
packages.
did we just do there? For those that aren't aware of what
So
that feature is.
when you download an auto package, an auto download package, if you go to options, there's a button that says convert to standard, and it takes it out of where when we update with a new release, it takes it out of that cycle and will just stay as you have it there.
Yeah. Now, for example, I just deleted that Taskkill.
That seems like a bad idea.
That was a bad idea. But the great thing is this, copy paste. We can actually, from any of our other packages that have a Taskkill, I would just download 7-zip again to get the right one. But the nice thing is you can copy and paste sections of packages and use them in other packages. So again, I got rid of that Taskkill. I probably shouldn't have. Copy right there. Go into the package we're building, paste it in. Boom, there it is. Move it up. So again, I'm a great PowerShell. I'm not going to say this right.
Guru?
No.
I go to Lex for all of my
I
PowerShell
plagiarize. I copy stuff that I think is going to work, and then I change it to make it work for me. And that's one of the things I want to point out. Guys, these are templates. All of the packages out here have great examples of things you can do.
Yep. We have a lot of packages out there, and I mean, if you bought our license, feel free to steal.
Oh, buy the license and steal, is that it?
Well, they buy the license and they steal from the packages.
Plagiarize.
It's not exactly stealing if they
Yeah,
are
that one, but-
It's not theft, but yeah.
But again, here's the big thing with this, okay? When you're calling your Taskkill, /f/im, which I believe is a force and immediate, and then you're going to list the things that you want to kill at that point. So again, that's going to help you out. Again, just, a feature or a thing you can do that took me a little while to learn, and,
Yeah, you can do, you can recreate these on your own, but you're wasting a lot of time at that point. We have a lot out there where we've run into a lot of the issues that you're probably running into with your first package.
Absolutely. So again, plagiarize, guys. The more complex the package, again, the better kind of things you learn. Like you can learn how to do registry tattooing or hacking the registry, as Shane calls it.
He loves hacking the registry.
Absolutely. So
It's getting really enraged right now.
Shane's going to be saying something, I'm sure. I read what he wrote about me in my thrift shop clothing, but okay.
Yeah, so basically there's no reason to reinvent the wheel when it comes to packages. So we understand we're not going to have every package that you want. There's going to be something you have to create your own.
Mm-hmm.
Just use our experience, take what you need, modify it to fit you, and then move on that way.
The other thing is your silent parameters, okay? Again, can't stress this enough. You got to do these silently, so your Google foo. So silently uninstall or silently install.
You want me to?
Yeah, let's do it. Silently install 7-zip or uninstall 7-zip. Okay, now the great thing is this, you can search. I always like to go to the vendor themselves specifically because generally you're going to get, from the horse's mouth what you're going to need at that point. So again, a lot of this is just a little research.
Yep, and MSIs are going to have the same silent parameters all the time, but if it's something else, then you're going to want to research that.
So here's the uninstall. You start scrolling through here, we should see /s. There you go. And always test on someone's machine you don't like. Jordan's machine's the one I test on. all the time.
That's because it's not a lot of work is ever happening on my machine.
We know nothing's going to affect them. But yeah, test it before you send it out. But again, sound parameters. The other nice thing is this. Usually you're uninstalling your install parameters. Generally, going to have a lot of the same parameters. So
one thing worth noting with the Taskkill.
Oh, that's
success
right.
code of 128. That means that the process wasn't running. Instead of airing out because it couldn't, it just rolls with that.
Make sure you add that in there, because if it's not running, you want to make sure it can continue.
All right, so that's kind of getting started your own package. Are you all right?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's.
This is dying over there.
But you can't die until we're off camera.
As soon as the show's over, then I just keel over
I
to...
can't keep a conversation
Think
going.
of the ratings.
Yeah, think of the ratings. Well, we would actually get a one-time boost. Go ahead.
One time.
All right, so the next part we see a lot is collection building.
Absolutely.
So
Inventory is an amazing tool, and I don't know if you guys know, but I'm just going to do a little, pump for the beta, guys. We're running the beta right now, and being a beta tester is great. Just you're going to get the latest and greatest from us. Just don't necessarily put it in your production environment. It's test, so you'll get the latest and greatest tools, and I'll show you a couple of those here today, because this should be coming out in the next little bit. So
I think Kobe's saying not locked in, but we're hoping for beta 4 on Monday.
Yeah, I believe that's the schedule.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the reason, and all I did, I copied this earlier. I just came up to where all of our pre-built collections in the collection library, right here, and I copied down.
So we copied Chrome.
Yep.
Again, it's this plagiarize and change stuff. Why have to do all the work if all you got to do is change a few parameters, right?
Yep. So with a lot of packages, if you're looking for a collection that just has a certain software, there's going to be, this is the name, this is the version number, and you can. The reason we did Chrome is Chrome actually has 2 version numbers.
Very complex.
This kind of gives you an example. So there's a 4-part and a 3-part for the version number. So, center that one. So if you're looking for something a little bit more complex.
And the great thing here is you can just start going in and changing this, because we've copied it. So this is, obviously change the name of it so you don't confuse yourself. But
and it's a good way to see our logic tree for if it has either the 3 or the 4-part. That's where so it's any of, and then all of these either conditions there. So it has either of those, then it will click that one. So it's a good way if there's more than one set of data that the software may have. Something
to make your life super easy, variables. Okay, you'll notice right here, all of these are variables, okay? Those are system variables. They got the $sign. You can build your own, and the nice thing about that is, let's say I build a report, I build a collection, and I put my own variable in it. We built the Jordan version here. Apparently there's a version 2.0 of you.
Believe it or not, this is an upgraded version of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are we going to get that here?
No.
Oh, well.
No,
but
imperceptible.
The nice thing is, when you build your variable, it's, whatever Lex version. Once you tab out, you notice it puts a little @ Now, you need to use that @ to reference it. It'll put it in there for you. And this is the one.
Can you make it a negative number?
0.3. Oh, can we do negative?
A negative number? Oh.
We're about to find out. Lex -3.
-3,
Yeah,
version
works.
-3. Ow.
That works.
Is it wrong for me to cry live? The great thing about this is, once again, instead of creating more work for yourself, the initial setup's a little bit more, but again, as soon as the new version of Lex comes out, Lex 1 million, you just have to come in here and change the variable, and then the collection and your reports and anything associated with that is going to get changed.
It's the same as with most things IT. The more work you put in on the setup, the less you're going to have to do when things change.
Absolutely.
So just do the work now, and then run with it.
Should we hit a question?
Dear Lex and Jordan, how do you scan computers on a domain? Sincerely, Pierre.
Hey, Pierre. First thing's adding computers, right? Getting them in inventory. I would use Active Directory Sync. I mean, if you got a domain, sync it with Active Directory.
Add computers, and there's an Active Directory Sync. So if you're not looking for it to update, you can do by name, but we're just going to show you the sync, because this one will kind of auto sync for you.
If you were to go and include your containers here from there, it's going to go and add them. I just grabbed at the top level when we set this up. I am not going to save this because I don't want it to sync, but you could set this up to run, once a week or once a day, depending on how frequently you Yeah, maybe I will save that.
That's a good example of know your environment. If you have tens of thousands of machines, maybe syncing every hour might be a bit
Check
too
that out.
taxing.
We just synced the machines right there.
Look at that.
So now that being said, it just added Captain America and a bunch of stuff from Active Directory.
So apparently we moved from Rick and Morty to Marvel.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
trying to make that transition.
Now,
Alright.
if you right click, if you want to kick off a scan, you right click and then you can pick a standard scan or computer info scan.
I think it's a
it'll run.
cross between Vindicators and Avengers, right? At this point.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and the important thing, if you're still having issues, you might want to take a look at your credentials.
Absolutely.
If you don't have like
Domain
a single
admin.
account domain admin that can scan all of them, you may need to figure out which works best for you there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got another question?
We have another question from Pierre. Dear Lex and Jordan, how do you deploy Firefox in another language such as French?
I just speak French when I deploy it.
Hmm?
Oui, le Firefox.
All right, Jordan, do you have the real answer?
So, I mean, I'm not sure because with Firefox, there is a whole file that we include with it that tells what to install. I'm not sure if there's a change in there that points it to French.
I think,
Colby's
you would
typing.
have to probably download the French version of that and then swap the install file
Swap
out.
install, yep.
That's what I would imagine. Colby, any comments on that?
Yeah, unfortunately with Firefox, they publish like a different installer for each version, and we just don't have the bandwidth to publish all like 200 or whatever that is. So we only do the English versions of all applications.
Yes, so
So plagiarize.
Yeah.
Grab ours, yank out the English version, stick in the French version, and off to the races.
So-
you
Is there
go.
a KB for that?
There might be.
I'm not
Or maybe a
aware.
blog post?
If not, I
On
know
how to
someone who
swap
can write
out,
one.
Yep, and unfortunately with that one, if you are swapping out the executable, you're going to have to bring it out of the auto-download one. So every time you see an update for the Firefox English, you're going to have to go in and manually
That is true.
put in your new install media. And make sure you have the full install file. Actually, in my interview here, I made that mistake. I had the little
Whoopsie.
download one instead of the full install. It did not work.
Excellent. Do we got another one, or should we keep rolling? Okay.
Actually, Shane has a suggestion.
Oh.
He's noticed that there are questions coming in about seeing which patches people need, and he thinks it'd be a good idea if you guys show a computer object showing the collection page. Use a filter for old.
Okay.
Collection for old. All right.
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Shane's too far away.
Thanks, man. Shane, appreciate.
All right. So
We need a real, like, actual phone. I mean, not to denigrate you, Colby. We need a phone, a friend with old pot systems
There you go. Long
So-
distance.
with Shane on the other end.
If you go into a machine, you bring it up,
Yep,
and
so
you
I
go to
just-
collections,
I just double clicked on Beth and then went down to the collections in the tab here.
and then change the filter to old.
Up here.
Mostly so we can listen to Shane roast Lex.
Well, he's been a lot more.
Oh, he's been
comfortable
doing it on the
roasting me
chat
as well.
He's been roasting you.
Oh,
hard
I
on the
saw
chat.
some of the stuff you've been written in the chat.
But some of us would
love
like
you
to
too,
hear.
Shane.
Some of us would like to hear it.
Oh, and Shane put in the chat, Firefox doesn't necessarily have different language. They have per country. So there are many Spanish installers. There's
Interesting.
just kind of FYI for the previous one. But once we have old in here, you can see on Beth, this is all of the software that we have that is out
Old.
of date. Yep.
No, on Beth. Now, the other thing you can do, you can actually build a report based off of old. So we're just going to computer, and we're going to say member of collection, and our filter will be member of collection, where the name contains the word old.
I helped.
There we go. Bang. Other than I didn't name it.
Sorry,
No.
new report is plenty descriptive.
New report is, and then if I right click here, I can say go ahead and group by this column, and there's all the machines that have an old version of the 2012 R2 rollup.
All right. I'm going to assume that we're not going to be upgrading these ones.
Maybe not, possibly, but again, you could jump down to Firefox old and you see all the machines with Firefox that are old.
Apparently we have old Foxit.
Old Foxit. Wow, that was not Firefox, was it?
It was not. That's why I thought I'd find it, but I did not.
Oh,
It was
okay.
somewhere else.
Well, on that note, that's how you find the old ones.
All right, I'm not even going to save your report because you didn't name it. Name your reports.
Name my reports? All right. Another thing I should have learned at the beginning, name them so you don't have to go read them again and then put the name on them. That's a good tip.
I still have the bad habit of I name my reports or my collections, whatever crosses my mind at the time, and it is never relevant to what it's actually doing.
No, it's not.
A week later, that doesn't mean anything.
Hey, one more thing about building collections, right? We're just going to go back to Beth. If you go to applications, and this is an awesome feature. If I need to know how many machines have Google Drive file stream, I can right click and make a new dynamic collection. There it is. I give it an OK, and now I have a super awesome Google file stream collection just off of a right click.
Absolutely.
So,
Right.
what do you think?
I think so far I'm doing great. I don't
Did
know
we
about
just
you.
beat the crap out of collections at this point?
We did. All right. So one thing we got often, we get questions from news, is they just download the Windows 10 packages and they send it out there, and then they get a lot of.
Oh, so you
There's
see,
that,
I
yeah.
just grab one of them and I launch it, and it doesn't work on all my machines.
Yep. So do we have? Let's find out if we actually have one downloaded here. We do.
I got two of them.
Two of them
Two
downloaded.
of them downloaded. Couple things to know about this. If you look at the conditions, so this is Windows 10 1803. If you look at the conditions on all of these, right here, there's a registry condition that says this has to be an 1803 machine for 1803 to run on. It's a good thing because it would cause problems if you ran it on a 1709.
But this one's a stopgap. Basically, if you send to the wrong machines, this will still save you from yourself. But if you send to every machine,
You're going to waste a lot of time.
You're going to make your network admin very upset.
Yeah. A lot of travel on that network
travel.
that's worthless.
Yeah. So what you want to do is we have collections built for this, where you can just deploy that auto download package to that collection, and then you're only hitting the right operating systems, and you have a lot less traffic out there.
So again, here we've got all the different versions of Windows. 1709, I've got 2. That's why we downloaded it. 1803, I've got 8 of them. Obviously, I haven't been keeping my stuff up to date. But the nice thing, and here's a good rule of thumb, guys. One schedule per package, okay? So you're going to build an 1803 schedule, take care of your 1803 machines. 1709, did I say that? There we go. For your 1709s. And scheduling's pretty simple, guys. You obviously go up, new schedule, okay? Probably want to name that the 1803 super schedule. You're really going to schedule of awesomeness. Okay. Triggers again.
With
go ahead.
authentic typos.
I love that. So, you can send this out during the day. It is going to run silently in the background, but, why chance getting an extra phone call? Run it after hours. I do want to point this out. Here's the cool thing that's coming out. Intervals. Check this out. Right now, I wouldn't do this with the Windows 10, but you could actually, in the new beta version coming out and then the new release when that comes out, you can actually say only run this between 8 and 5 p.m. on the hour. Okay? Now, that being said, this is between, so if you actually want it to run on the 5 o'clock hour, you need to add a second in there to get it to actually run on the 5 o'clock hour. So that's the cool new thing that's coming up in the new release. The beta, I think, is going to be available early next week, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and this should help you keep with it if you have a scheduled update window in your environment.
Absolutely. The other thing I want to point out, if you want to catch anybody who's offline, and again, you want to use this kind of judiciously because, what's going to happen is heartbeat schedule, okay, machine goes from an offline state to an online state in inventory. You're going to catch them, so I take my laptop home for the weekend. I come back on Monday. I log into the system. It registers an inventory. It goes from offline to online, which looks kind of like offline. There's an offline. Captain America's offline. When it comes online, okay, it's going to pick up that update. So just remember Windows 10 update. You might not want to do that, but Firefox and Chrome definitely pick them up when they get online. That way. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah.
In regards to the scheduling?
Yeah, with Heartbeat, if it's a larger, it takes a lot of resources. You definitely don't want that on Heartbeat. You want Heartbeat for your quicker installs.
Yeah.
I think you don't want someone to come in after being 2 weeks out and just have the next 45 minutes having their computer updating stuff on them.
Good point. And then another good rule of thumb, don't send reboots out on a Heartbeat schedule. Think about it. Think about it.
One time. No one forgives you around here.
Yeah, you just do it once. That's all it takes. Do we have any more questions?
Oh, yeah.
We have a few more from Pierre, and we'll get to the others as soon as we can. But due to time zones, we want to hit Pierre right now.
Excellent.
Dear Lex and Jordan, I deployed a package to all computers, but some of them were offline. How do I deploy to them once they start back up?
I think I just covered that.
You did with the
Heartbeat schedule. So I put that heartbeat schedule on your schedules, and when they come online and they're registered from an offline to an online state in inventory, they'll get it right then.
Yep. All right.
Anything to add to that?
What tells the future.
There you go.
Dear Lex and Jordan, is there a way to remove computers from inventory that don't exist anymore? Sincerely, Pierre.
Well, if you have this AD sync on, like we had, and you haven't removed the object from Active Directory, even if you delete it, it will come back. We'll start there. But
So,
to
yeah.
delete, there is a.
So here's the thing. Counselor X, delete. Captain America, delete. Now, here's the thing. When my Active Directory sync happens again, it's coming back, just like Jordan said.
Yep.
So you want to clean up Active Directory.
Yep.
Okay? That'll take care of it here. The other thing you want to take a look at when you're adding computers from Active Directory sync is, notice I am not syncing disabled computers, so you could go in and just mark those disabled in Active Directory, and then they wouldn't show up here. If you are on full sync, okay, which means you don't have any workgroup machines or any that you've added by hand, it should take care of itself. Mixed sync, anything that has been added by AD will be removed by AD. So those are your settings right there, my friend.
All right, so I guess we go over scan user,
Scan credentials?
scan credentials. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Speaking of,
yeah, a lot of problem we see with deployments, especially the first time, is if you're in an environment where it's a bit more segmented, not one credential works for everything. You basically you're going to want to be able to, with one deployment, use all of those credentials without having to have multiple deployments.
I just brought up credentials. I went to options and credentials, and you notice we've got our domain admin credentials here. Quintana's domain admin. Okay, and then I also added a local admin, right? So you got to have at the very least local admin rights on machines to be able to do stuff. So with that, you can then add machines that are not part of the domain with those local admin credentials. Now, Jordan's bringing up right here. You clicked on
Just
Kucherbot.
right click. Yep, Kucherbot, just right click. Then there's the select scan user. You can set the default scan user there.
To Vincent or whatever. Now, the great thing about that is once you do that, when you go to deploy, let's say we're going to deploy our really super awesome 7-zip package
This is way better than the one that comes default.
than the one that actually looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, right there.
Right there.
Use PDQ Inventory scan credentials. So the nice thing is it's going to go and say, okay, what credentials are in inventory? So you don't have to remember, okay, I'm sending all these to the work group machines, and I'm sending this to all the domain machines. You can just send it out to everybody, and it's going to use the credentials in inventory, which makes your life super, super easy.
Yeah, also important, inventory does work with laps, which
Yes.
is
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be far more secure. So if you have laps in your environment, I would recommend set up inventory with that. That way, it's just a far more secure way to handle all this.
Absolutely.
Right. Do we have any other questions?
Do we have any other questions? We got a handful.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's the deal. We have a lot of questions today, so we're going to kind of do a speed round here. But if we don't get to your question, next week is something we call PDQ&A, where we answer a little bit of everything. If we don't get to your question this week, we will make sure that we tack it on next week as well. All right. Dear Lex and Jordan, how can I scan a Windows 10 system on an iMac with BootCamp? Inventory always says target computer offline. Sincerely, super antifragilistic
All right, super. Okay, I had a question. Does BootCamp, does it boot the machine as Windows, or is it a virtual?
Well, Parallels is the virtual. That's
Okay.
one I've never used BootCamp,
Okay.
but I think Colby was saying that one is actually installed.
I don't actually have any experience with Mac products, but I think BootCamp allows you to just boot Windows on Mac
Okay.
device.
So here's the thing. If it's a virtual machine, make sure your firewall settings on that machine, if it's running as a virtual machine on your Mac, allow SMB, ICMP4, those kind of things, and that you do have at least local admin rights on that. You should be able to take care of that machine. If it boots, to Windows, you make sure it's booted and your firewall settings are right. Because if you run on Mac, it can't obviously run booted as Windows at that point. Right?
Yeah, if it is. Oh yeah, so Shane actually said their BootCamp will work. You still need to have the firewall configured. So if it's still showing offline, there may be some configuration in there.
If you look up PDQ space firewall ports, first thing that comes up on Google, that's what you need right there.
Yeah, and that should let you hopefully get you scanning.
What else you got? New question.
Dear Lex and Jordan, how are people updating Office 365 through PDQ to where the installer doesn't have to force close the apps? We want to control the version using internal SMB share, but haven't been able to make it work without force closing. Sincerely, Greg.
Greg. All right. Windows 365 without closing apps. I don't. You know, I'm gonna have to punt on this one. Colby, here it comes, baby.
This is what we have Colby for. No pressure.
Sorry, I have no experience with Office 365.
That is the
Everybody
first time
Boom, mark it on the
that has
calendar.
ever happened.
Someone pour Colby a drink. He's
Drinking for Colby.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just Office 365. I think at one point did we do a webcast?
We do have a webcast. We've got a video out on how to do Office 365 updates.
we might
without-
have a handful, or
Yeah.
at least a couple videos and a webcast.
But I don't know if it answers that question. But if someone knows it, it's probably going to be in a previous webcast that covered that topic.
If anybody does know, please put it in the chat for us.
Yeah.
Help us out here.
My assumption is that you will have to force close it because applications like Google Chrome and Firefox install like basically an extra version that is launched the next time you open it. And I'm assuming Microsoft Office doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So Shane, once again, has a better answer than us from wherever he's at, where there is a setting on the package or on the deployment where it won't deploy if someone is logged on.
Oh, yeah.
That's still using the force close, but at least in this one, you're not.
You know, I'm gonna have to disagree with Shane. And the reason I'm gonna disagree is your end user needs it, force it. You just give him like a 2-second heads up, save your data, here it comes.
I can't wait for his response.
And just have a pop up, give it 5-second countdown. It's like your stuff's gonna close.
Good luck.
And then just use the Taskkill went over and just kill Explorer.
Yeah,
.exe.
kill it. Boom.
All right, remember we are at a speed round.
Oh, okay.
Dear Lex and Jordan, I have multiple locations. What is the best practice for fast deployments? Recreate packages locally, central server, and DFS? Thanks, Dachroom.
I don't even. DAC. I'm going with DAC on
Okay.
that. DFS. Always just replicate it once across and then grab the local copy. That's probably the best.
Yeah, it's if you can always
If you
use
can.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're in more of a where you have bandwidth issues between your environments, maybe the server where you have one at each location where it can send from. But
Yeah. Hey, we did that in under a minute. That's a first for us. What else we got?
Dear Lex and Jordan, and by the way, if you hear some noise, we have construction going on there, demolishing half of the building. And so,
we're probably safe.
I know
Ball
what that
comes
is.
through.
yeah, that's what
We're
Go
probably
yell at
safe.
them. All right.
Dear Lex and Jordan, mobile users on our network move between subnets. How can I get our PDQ inventory to update the IP once the host obtains a new IP? Sincerely, Tony.
All right. So a couple of things. DFS.
DNS.
DNS.
Yes.
Thank you. DNS. You're going to have some fairly aggressive scavenging on DNS. And when I say fairly, DNS is wizardry that only Brig understands. Okay, so I know you're going to have to set your scavenging. The other thing that's going to help you, and this is in inventory and deploy, is if you come down and you look for test multiple addresses. Because again, if a laptop, and again, this happens a lot with laptops, they undock, so their wired IP is different from their wireless IP. And a lot of times they're going to jump subnets. So that way it'll test them all. But those are the two places I would look.
Yeah, with everything, our product works as well as your DNS. So,
Yeah, if you had a lot of problems with your DNS,
yeah,
you might see
there's
some
going to be
problems
with that
trying to-
one. I mean, you're probably going to have to do some trial error with the scavenging, like you said, just to find out what works best for you. You don't want to be too aggressive, but
Absolutely. Again, it'd be the same thing you look under network here. Boom. Test multiple addresses.
Dear Lex and Jordan, can PDQ inventory work if Labs has been deployed and the default admin shares have been disabled? Sincerely, just a tech.
If you go up here to your credentials, and after you get that set up, you go add labs.
but by default, we do use the admin share as well.
Yeah. Oh.
So if the admin share is disabled, either you're going to have to have a non-default share and change that setting, which is...
Now, you can do that. And I would highly, you got to be really careful.
We have warnings all over that.
That's where you would change that. And the issue, here's the issue. You have to, whatever share you're going to use has to be on every machine, and it has to be shared. And
yes,
you can change it there, but...
Yeah, this can cause a lot of problems. It's if you absolutely are going to have the admin dollar disabled, you're going to have to set up a different share with this, and it's going to be there's going to be a lot of work with that.
Again, and that's every machine's going to have that. So,
Hey, Lex and Jordan, what is the benefit to uninstalling then reinstalling for an update instead of just running the updated install? Greg?
Greg. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I'm a big fan of like a nice clean install because there's always remnants of stuff get left a lot of times. So an uninstall and a reinstall usually takes out most of the crap. You get a freshie. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, I think different softwares have different success with a direct update.
Agreed.
So if you have a finicky one, it probably just is going to cause less issues in the long run. But something like Chrome, I think just go ahead and do the update.
Yeah. Colby, any thoughts?
For packages in the package library, if we have an uninstall step, that means that at some point we had trouble with the application and uninstalling it first helped. Because sometimes there will be a version where if you just install it, you don't uninstall it first, you'll get two versions of it. I don't remember what it was, but we ran into that with something recently. And so usually we don't like to do that if we can get away with it, but there are some applications that you just have to uninstall first.
Vendor by vendor basis, I guess.
Do we have any other questions? Or?
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. Dear Lex and Jordan, I want to be able to identify only the devices that need to be patched and what those patches are. Thanks, Corey.
We should have saved that new report, huh?
Yeah. Oh, boy, if only you had named it.
If only I had... Well, watch this. Name it. Old apps.
There we go.
Again, here's the thing. If you're going to be building your own packages, if you use the same naming convention that we do, it becomes very easy to come in here and say, you know what, I need collection names and filtering on that, and just say, look, I need anything with a member collection where it contains the word old in it or parentheses old, and bang, there you go.
Yeah, and that's for all of the collections we have for the software that we provide. If it's your own software that we don't have a package for, you can copy what we have for the old and just reuse it for that one.
Yep.
Dear Lex and Jordan, will sync disabled computers remove computers that have been deleted from AD? Sincerely, Charles J. Odom.
If the full sync is enabled, then yes.
So,
I think mixed
Active
is...
Directory. Mixed sync, do not delete computers that are not part of the sync. So here's the thing. If you go and look, when we add these machines, you can go here and say, like, how was it added, right? So if I go up the corner here, and I say added by, where is it? Added
From.
Added from, right there. Boom. Add that, I'll put it at the front. Okay. AD sync. Anything with AD sync, if it gets deleted out of AD, gonna get deleted. Okay. Anything that's been added by hand, you'll have to manually maintain. Yep. So
and if you have
the full sync or the mixed sync, if it's added by AD will take care of it.
Yep.
And our final question, and please remember, if you submitted a question, we didn't get to it because we had a ton of them today, we will be including them next week during our PDQ&A. All right, so next Thursday, join us again and we'll get you taken care of. Dear Lex and Jordan, how do we resolve the DNS mismatch issue as well as clean up computers that have no status in inventory? Sincerely, Javon.
Oh, DNS mismatch.
DNS. Okay, so I'm going to go grab a couple things. We're going to look up by hostname and look up by NetBIOS by IP. And then we're going to import these tools. So basically what we're doing in those tools is one's going to be an NS lookup. Okay. So if I highlight a machine, see if I got a mismatch. Target, computer out, name mismatch. Perfect. Sleeping Beauty. Right click. I go to tools. I just added lookup by IP address. Okay. 182 so you can see this one is resolved to ABBA, not Sleeping Beauty in this case. And basically what we ran on that, if you ever need to see what those tools are, if you go to customize, okay, we'll go look up by IP address, you can edit it. You can see what we're running here, which is basically an NS lookup minus QPTR. It's a reverse lookup. Okay.
Is that Jason trolling you? ABBA.
And then look up NetBIOS by name. What was that?
He says Jason trolling you by naming it ABBA.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. NBT stat A, that's my other personal favorite. That's like, okay, I looked in the phone book. It said, this is where Lex lives. I go to the address, knock on the door, and see who answers. That's what your NBT stat A does. So that same thing, if we were to do that same thing right here with the, nope, that's not it, new collection.
Yeah, and this will help you definitely find the issue that's in there and fine tune it, but you're still going to have to remove the bad records. Or
yeah, once you found out what's actually there, you need to go clean up your DNS. So
DNS is just no fun.
yep, it's let's see, 99 problems are DNS, and so is the last one.
Yeah.
Now you have 101
Yep.
somehow.
That's right. So again, find out what's really there. Clean up your DNS. Again, scavenging. We've got some great videos on DNS.
Yep.
Anyway,
Right.
so
Yeah.
new year, new you.
Yeah, hopefully, if you're new, you found a lot of stuff that can help you get running, have the best environment. If you're experienced, hope you find a couple of things that help you just make it that much better.
Yeah, learn from our mistakes because we make a lot of them.
I make all of the mistakes.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm Lex.
I'm Jordan.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Javon and Greg F., winners of PDQ swag. Send us your information at webcast@pdq.com. And please remember, if you submitted a question that we did not get to, join us next week during PDQ&A. We'll get you taken care of. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.